What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In today's video, we're jumping into Ultimate X-Men issue number 5. Now, when it comes to the Ultimate Universe, by now most of us have been able to realize that the Ultimate X-Men isn't really connected in any significant way. While yes, it is technically part of the 6160 universe, it is completely disconnected from everything that Tony Stark and Captain America are currently doing. We have been following a teenage Armor. Her powers are newly awakened. This all started when a shadow had attacked her. Ever since that day, the shadow has followed her, bringing dark and unusual occurrences along with it. But most recently, during one of the attacks, Armor's powers were caught on video. And though Maystorm believes she fried all the phones that were nearby, the next day, she was trending on social media. So, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we pick up with this issue, we pick up with the blue-headed girl. Her code name, Surge. And right now, she is sitting down with the heavy-set kid. This seems to kind of be a loner, seems kind of weird. He seems to be the source of the shadows, the ones that have been haunting Armor. And it appears that these two know one another, that they hang out together, but we don't know to what extent. The two of them right now are observing what happened to Armor. The video of her is all over social media. The boy's name being Kageyama. He seems to have some secrets about her that he's not willing to divulge to Surge just of yet. But as he takes off, we pick up in Armor's room. She sits down with Maystorm, talks about this shadow the first time it occurred. But as she talks about this is when the shadow manifests before her, appearing to take over May's entire body. He tells Armor that he just wants to be friends, that the two of them are the same, that they have powers nobody else could ever dream of, that they could control the entire world. But then Armor snaps out of it, finds May and Nico sitting before them. Nico is claiming that she is a psychic, that all three of them are in fact mutants, though none of them fully understand what that means just of yet. But Nico is here today because they're gonna try to figure out what has been going on with Armor. Ever since she was given this little amulet, her powers had manifested and the shadow has followed her around. As Nico begins to observe it, trying to get some kind of reading off of it, as she looks at it, as she observes it, her magnifying glass shatters in her hands. And then from the amulet, this is when the boy begins to come through. He had been using the amulet to be able to show up whenever he wanted. Now that they have been exposed, the shadow crawls out of the amulet. In a state of panic, Nico takes her book and slams it on the shadow. As it begins to turn into goo, it gets up for its counterattack, going to attack Nico. We see the magnifying glass in her hand. It grows in size and she is able to almost use it like a weapon, almost like an exorcism, getting rid of the shadow. And not even Nico knew that she was capable of doing such a feat. The truth is, her grandmother had given her the magnifying glass. There's obviously much more to it than she thought. As we pick up with Surge, we don't really know what's going on here, but what we do know is that this guy owes her some money and we see Surge fry his brain. She robs this dude and she takes off. Obviously, Surge is going to play some kind of significant part moving forward. But as we pick up with May and Nico, now May's trying to make sense of this because Nico said that they're mutants. They're wondering, was that oozy black shadow also a mutant? Believing that it's quite possible he was. This is where Nico goes on to say that she has heard rumors, one of a cult that does rituals with blood, that they have secret chambers hidden in what look like regular office buildings. One theory says that they gather to experiment, to learn, that they call themselves Homo Superior. They call themselves mutants. This cult believes that they are what comes after humanity. They are the next step in evolution. They use a sigil, the same one that Armor had on her amulet. And Nico's grandmother has been obsessed with this cult. Nico has read all of her research. She truly thought that it was a myth. And so the two of them are now realizing they might be going against an entire cult of mutants. That if one of them are after Armor, this could antagonize more and cause an all-out brawl. And Maystorm is more than willing to seek them out and fight them if they must. That if they're going to be fighting bad guys, they're going to need a team name, with May coming up with X-Team, mainly because they all get X's on their report cards, on all of their tests. Though Nico would say that they can all speak for themselves, considering she gets very good grades. They toy around with some ideas, Secret Society of X-Men, and Nico kinda likes the sound of X-Men, saying it sounds better than X-Team. And if they're gonna make a team, that means they're gonna have to find some other individuals with powers and recruit them to their cause. That will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Ultimate X-Men issue number 5 is finally picking this story up a little bit. Now, I think I'm with most of you when I say this is definitely not the Ultimate X-Men I expected, nor is it the Ultimate X-Men that I wanted. With that being said, I'm gonna give this an opportunity. Peach Momoko is really playing this out like an anime, and that's the only reason that I'm kind of hanging on to the story still. I know every video I talk about how I don't even know why I'm continuing on, but honestly, I'm intrigued. It's something different, it's something I didn't expect, it's something that I didn't even know I would want to read, but now that I'm reading it, I'm 5 issues in, I find myself in a position where I just want to know where this is ultimately gonna lead us. Because while these teenagers are all coming into their powers around the same time, and the statistical odds so far have been pretty great, but we're learning that there is a whole cult of mutants. And we're talking just about in Japan. We haven't even got to worldwide yet. But we're learning that this Shadow was the boy, that he comes from a cult of mutants. We don't know what their ultimate end goal is, we just know that they believe they're the next stage in human evolution. By the rhetoric he was speaking when he was talking to Armor, it all suggests that they believe that they are superior and that they could take over the world if they worked together. All of this sounding a lot like Magneto and the Brotherhood. One thing I do like about this comic is it takes us out of America. Now, we're gonna see some changes. I know they already teased like a young teenage female version of Cyclops. But again, this is not saying the Cyclops doesn't exist. We don't know to the extent of what this individual's powers are gonna be manifested from, how they're gonna work. You know, it's all speculation at this point. So I'm gonna give it the opportunity. Now, if they're just making teenage girl copies of all the superheroes, that's probably gonna be my endpoint. But if you did what you did like with Maystorm, where you say, you know what, Storm exists, she's in this universe, she's in Africa being a freedom fighter, Maystorm just happens to have similar power sets to Storm, and in fact Maystorm looks up to Storm. I can accept this for Maystorm, but if you start doing that with all the characters, then it's gonna be really lame. Then it's gonna be lazy writing, then it's gonna be like, why are you even doing this? Why not just use the original characters? But there's lots of potential here. I would like to see where this story goes. I am hoping that Peach Momoko doesn't mess it up and go in the direction that I just suggested, because that would just be highly disappointing considering this is so unique and it is so different that I want it to be successful. But I am so cautiously optimistic about this. I'm trying not to be cynical, I'm trying not to be too hard on it. I really am trying to give this story the benefit of the doubt. Like I said, it has great potential. 5 issues in, we're gonna keep on rolling, we're gonna keep on going, we'll take it issue by issue, and we'll see how we feel as we get through each one. But it is definitely no Ultimate Spider-Man. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything that has been going on in the Ultimate Universe, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything that is going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.